Okay, we're watching Skippio, who's going to be playing mostly Junker Queen on Shambali. This is Gold 1 on console. I recently D-ranked from Plat 1 down to High Gold in both the tank and support roles, and I can use some guidance and fresh perspectives because I feel like I'm the worst losing stretch of my Overwatch career. So I've already done the support 1 review earlier today, now we're going to be doing the tank 1. So, brief overview. Played primarily as Junker Queen, everything felt smooth until the last push. I'm certain I can improve my mechanical play, especially with nice throws and kill confirms. I also don't have a good grasp on the optimal times to use Shout. Strategy-wise, I felt lost on how to approach the final cap of Shambali. Sticking to the main route often felt like a death trap, I would agree. Is there a better positioning strategy for this map? Any input on ult economy generally and my decision making throughout the map would also be really helpful. I lose so often on a final push when the other team has just 3 or 4 ults to pop at once. That's true. If the other team has 3 or 4 ultis and you don't have 3 or 4 ultis, you're probably going to lose, which is why Overwatch is not about like winning any single fight, it's about winning a bunch of fights. It's the same similar story if you're playing like poker, let's say. You don't want to bet the outcome of the game on one lucky hand or not. You want to accrue enough advantages, like if you're playing on one-on-one poker, that there is no way that you could lose the game on a single hand because you're accruing advantages over every single hand, like winning more on average. So by the time you reach the end of the game, there's not much that the opponents could possibly do against you. You don't want a game to come down to the last fight. You want the game to come down to at the very end. The enemy team would have to win like 3 or 4 fights in a row in order to win the game. And that's when like the odds of you winning is very, very high. So it's not always about looking at the very last fight of the game being like, there's something I could have done differently, because sometimes there isn't. Sometimes like literally, even if you're the best player in the world, you can't do anything in that situation. It's about what could you have done the entire length of the game, 10, 20, 25 minutes, so that you don't get into that situation where you're down to 1 fight. So I've already seen this game. I think I have a couple big thoughts to start with. Number 1, you play this game of countering, or what you think is countering. So you're going to open as D.Va against, or Junker Queen against D.Va. Then you die, and you're going to switch to Zarya, which then causes the D.Va to switch to Rein, and then causes you to switch to Junker Queen again, I think? Yeah, then you switch back to Junker Queen, which causes the Rein to then switch back to D.Va, right? And you just kind of... And then she dies again, and then she switches to Risa. I don't think you should switch unless you really, truly think that you cannot get value with whatever you're fighting against. Okay? And in particular, I think you need to be super careful about swapping when you have good ult charge. So for example, right here, you're going to die with Grav, and we're going to cover this later, and then you're going to switch to Junker Queen here, which is nuts. Grav is one of the best ultimates in the game. To switch in this situation, even though I know you're playing a Rein, and like Zarya is generally not necessarily that great against Rein, if I have Grav, I'm saving Grav. Like Grav is like an automatic fight win. So that's like kind of the problem when you keep trying to switch around, is that you never really end up playing the hero that you want to focus and get good at. So I think that there's not many heroes that you can play Junker Queen and you're like, wow, I really can't get value here. As long as the map's not super vertical, in which case you might need to play like a vertical hero. Or they're playing like Orisa, I think is a pretty tough matchup for Junker Queen. Beyond that, I'm perfectly happy to play Junker Queen into just about anything else. Like Doom, Ball, Zarya, etc. It's fine. It's not strictly an issue. So don't always think, oh, like they swap, so I swap, so they swap, then I swap. But it's not efficient, I think. And it's also holding you back in terms of learning the game. So that's number 1, countering. Number 2 is actually your knives. And it's less about knife accuracy, though obviously it'd be great if your knife accuracy is higher. It's you actually don't throw enough knives. And if we do like a quick run through here, right, so let's run through right now. So you're holding knife, okay, so let's say 50 seconds, okay? You throw a knife, okay, great. Right, see. So it's been 10 seconds. Knife comes up every 6 seconds, by the way. If you wait for the pullback, you'll have 3 seconds left. But it doesn't matter when you pull it back. It's still the same amount of time. It takes 6 seconds from one knife throw to the next, no matter what. So in 10 seconds, you throw in 1 knife. Right? 13, 14. So in 14 seconds, you've now thrown 2 knives, which is not ideal. Right? So I guess you throw a knife right there. Maybe it's later on that this becomes more relevant. Right? You're sitting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Then you finally throw a knife. So this is like, you're throwing it probably half as often as I would expect or so, and it's going to come out, I think, pretty consistently whenever you're playing Junker Queen. I think you just go fishing more. Like, knife has only a 6-second cooldown, which is pretty low, and I don't think you have a good reason to not be chucking it a lot more often. is a feel. I think when I was watching this game, I was like, oh, I would have thrown a knife here, and you just weren't throwing the knife. Okay, so let's go through the actual game. Now, one thing to note here is I think you should pretty much always start in high ground, and that's a general rule for like all maps and all situations, is start in high ground, and if you're like, wait, I don't want to be high ground, then drop to low ground. Because dropping, gravity goes one way. If you want to go down, it's quick and easy. But if you're like, oh shoot, I'm out of position, I need to go up, you can't do that quickly, because unless you have the ability, like a mobility skill to get you up high ground, then you're going to be out of position. And that's actually what's going to happen here when you lose first point. Shouldn't come out, this is fine. So, you missed this axe. I think you could have jumped here and landed this. Right, you pull, start the axe. Right, look up right now. And then I think if you jump, yeah, if you jump here, you see how close this is? Oh my god, this is so close. That's the soldier shooting. But I think if you jumped here, I think you land that axe swing. But anyway, not like the biggest deal, but I think missing axes shouldn't be a thing that happens. I would estimate that I hit 95% of my axes. That feels about right. Like 95% of my axes in the course of a game, I land. Like I basically don't miss axe unless the target dies. If the target dies before I hit him, like whatever. But beyond that, I don't think I really miss axes, and that should be your mentality too, which is do not miss axes, right? Save them for high value opportunities. So D.Va gets a pop right now. It's a good opportunity to just shout and go in. You don't need to walk backwards here. And this is also something I want you to note, is looking at a lineup and being like, what can I do here? So right now, I recognize there's only 3 people here. The DPS are flanking your team, which I may or may not have any awareness of. But with nobody here, D.Va mech popped, I just shout and commit. Like, I hard commit right here. I shout, go in, and I kill everyone. Like, I want to go in here. I want to, kill Baby D.Va, go after the Moira. Actually, probably go to the Moira first, right? Force Moira fade, kill Baby D.Va, because if Moira fades out, it's only the Mercy can keep the Baby D.Va alive, and I can kill her through that. I can't kill Baby D.Va through Moira and Mercy at the same time. That's way too much healing. So go here, force Moira fade, kill Baby D.Va, right? Force the Mercy to go back, chase the Moira. Moira fades back, Mercy follows her. Great. Now I turn back, and now I go after the rest of the team. Because at that point, I've already killed or disengaged 3 enemies from the fight. It's an easy win from there. So you need to have that killer instinct of like, look, go right here, just go. Like it's nothing, just nothing stops you. Just go right now. Just go in. Like nothing can stop you. Like tanks are so strong if you find the right timings to go. Meanwhile, the DPS have killed 2 of your backline. You sit here, you're like, oh shoot, what's going on? Oh look, my high ground's completely dead. What do I do at this moment in time? And then you're gonna try to save your Mercy. Genji's low, right? You pop him, excellent. Mercy's here, you kill him. The biggest issue though is that your backline's still dead right now. Mercy's gonna walk into this, super unlucky. Right? You get hacked, and you're gonna walk forwards or walk backwards, and you're gonna die. So, how do we avoid this? As I previously mentioned, if you stay high ground here, that's fine. Like you just stay high ground and you spam. Don't fight for this space out here. This is very, very offensive favored. You can't be fighting out here. And when I say offensive favored or like space you can't fight for, you already have an intuitive idea of what space you fight for and what space you don't. So for example, you're not standing here trying to hold their spawn. I think you realize immediately that's a bad idea. If you try to do that, you will die very quickly and accomplish nothing, and the fight will be lost. So you don't fight here. Do you fight, let's say, here? You don't do that either. Same reason. This is too close to their spawn, right? The cover isn't necessarily good, not necessarily a good retreat path or whatever it is. You don't fight here. Instead, you fight here, which is a perfectly reasonable place to fight, except that if you don't know what their lineup is and you don't know what their strategy is, you could potentially give up high ground in this situation, and then you lose. Which is why staying up here, even though it reduces the amount of damage you do, is a good choice to start the game. And then only drop from high ground when it becomes clear I need to. I'm perfectly happy letting them move the cart all the way to here before I drop. Because what do I care if the cart moves here? Like, there's no way I'm going to stop them from moving here in 4 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, my goal here is not to stop them, like, not 1 meter forwards. My goal here is how do I maximize my chances of winning this fight while giving up the least amount of space possible, right? Least amount of cart progress. So if I stay up here, and like, is anything going to die here? Do I get this D-mech? I don't. But honestly, this D.Va shouldn't have gotten D-mech to begin with. There's like no way this should happen. But regardless, I stay up here. I just spam them. D.Va's sitting here, right? Mercy's sitting here. Moira's sitting here. Nothing I can do here. But the DPS show up, and as soon as the DPS show up over here, I'm like, great. Now, right here, I shout so nobody in my team dies, and I immediately commit. I force Sombra to translocate. I force Genji to translocate, and I go back here and I shoot whoever's in the cart. And because their DPS are dead or disengaging, the D.Va, and the Moira, and the Mercy have to back up, and then they reset. That's a fight win. Okay? That is how you win a fight, through positional play, by being in the right spot and helping your team out. Now, should your team have lost this? They shouldn't have. I mean, this is kind of silly that your Ashe dies in here, but sometimes your team will make mistakes. Like, there's like 3 people here. They shouldn't have been killed by 2 people so easily, but they did. And if you play up here, you could have prevented that mistake from happening at all. Additionally, there's some times where, like, let's say they run like Ryan Rush, and then you're standing down here, and the Ryan Lucio just speeds over here, you've already lost the fight. The second the Ryan gets here, if you are not already here at the choke, you've already lost the fight, and you're going to be forced to go back and play gate. So that's why it's so important to think, where do I need to be right now? Now, it's tough because I don't think playing the maps is intuitive for tank, and that's the reason why I have like these big tank map guides where I talk through different maps. I don't want to have one for Shambali, but I do have one for the first point of Shambali specifically that I think is probably still worth you watching, and I'll link it if I remember. If I don't, just remind me. So that's kind of the big thing, right? If you stay high ground, right, you deflect the DPS, let the cart move, right, just shoot the cart from the side, then drop if you need to contest at that point in time, but otherwise just hold high ground and eventually you will win. Or they'll force you off high ground. But if they force you off high ground, you're going to lose no matter what. Alright, so you die, you're going to swap back Zarya. Again, I don't think this is necessary. I don't look at the enemy lineup and like, look, you really can't run Junker Queen here. I think it's perfectly fine. That being said, I think Zarya is a good hero here. I just don't think you needed to switch. So, a big thing here with Zarya is do not waste your bubbles. Like, if your bubble doesn't get you, I would say, at least 25 energy, you're straight up throwing. If it gets you 30, that's good, but not great. And if it gets 40, then you're doing great. In this situation, you look how far the D.Va is away from your soldier who she was targeting. Okay, the soldier, by the way, still has 120-something health, and he's next to 2 supports, and he's far away from the D.Va, and he's in your backline. There's no way you can look at this and think, someone is in danger, let me bubble them. No one is in danger here. There's no way the D.Va's going to pursue this. This is the kind of snap decision that you need to make all the time as tank or support or whomever. You need to look and be like, is anyone here actually in danger? No one here is in danger. From my experience level, I know no one will die here. I would literally bet $1 million that the D.Va will not kill any. I bet all the money in the world. It is impossible, mathematically impossible for the D.Va to kill anybody right now because of how far away she is. She's only doing, at this point, like 30 to 50 damage a second. No one's going to die here. That's even nobody got healed here. If you disable all the healing abilities, still nobody dies here. That's how confident I am that the D.Va cannot get a kill right now. So there's no point to bubble at this moment in time. This is a waste of a bubble, and wasting a bubble usually leads you to losing a fight. I think as Zarya, the number of wasted bubbles you can have in a game is like, I would say at my level, I can waste maybe 1 or 2 bubbles in an entire game and think that I'm still going to win the game. At your level, it's going to be a lot more forgiving because people make a lot more mistakes. But I still don't think you can waste like 7, 8 bubbles a game and expect to win. You really should be targeting 0 bubbles wasted per game, and it's an incredible skill to do so. Right? There's a lot that you need to track, a lot of instinct and game experience required. Again, this is why I mentioned this on when you're playing support as well, which is I would strongly recommend you focus on a small set, like 2 to 3 heroes max per role, right? 1 to 3 really, 1 to 3 heroes per role, and just force them in all scenarios. That way you learn and get better at them faster. Because like this is the kind of instinct you need to develop as Zarya. All right, so we wasted bubble number 1, right? We have 1.5 bubbles. You're attacking right here, and you pop bubble. But let's think, what do you see right here that caused you to pop bubble? Okay. What do you see here? Do you see, oh, the D.Va's going to do a lot of damage to me? No, she's matrixing right now, so the D.Va's literally not going to do any damage to you. So the D.Va, as a source of damage, is out, number 1. Number 2, the Mercy. Is she going to damage you? Obviously not, she's a Mercy. So she's out of the equation too. Who else is visible right now? Okay, there's a Genji. Is the Genji going to damage you? I mean, maybe, it's possible he can fire shurikens at you, but he's behind the cart right now. So, like, maybe he throws 3 shurikens at me and I get that. 3 shurikens is 81 damage, which works out to I don't know why I'm struggling with math over here. It's 40% of 40, so it's 16 energy. My math, yeah, 16 energy. It's 16 energy, so that's not good. Like one burst of shurikens from him, 3 shurikens, is just not good enough. So, like, that's clearly not going to be helpful, and you don't know where the Sombra is. So, there's no reason to be popping bubble right now. This is you thinking, if I stand in your face and I pop bubble, you will shoot me. But I'm sure you are already aware of, once you start going past, like, bronze/silver, no one does that anymore. When they see Zarya pop bubble for no reason, they don't shoot her. They only shoot the Zarya when she's bubble when they have abilities that they can't stop from hitting you. Like a Pharah firing a rocket from across the map, she can't stop that. Like, that's coming no matter what. You can pop bubble long before it gets there, and it's still going to hit you and you can get the energy from it. So, number one is like high damage projectiles. They can't stop that, A. Or B, when they really need to kill you. So, for example, if you were over here, let's say we teleported you over here and you're attacking the Mercy, I guarantee you everyone shoots you. In this situation, everyone will shoot you, bubble or not, because you're going to kill the Mercy here otherwise. So that's what you need to do as Zarya is you need to force the enemy to shoot you. A10, who's like one of the best Zarya players in the world, this is a great saying where he says, bubble for space, not for charge, not for energy. And what that means is don't use bubbles just to get energy. Use bubbles to do your job of creating space. Right? Do that, and then when people attack you because you're creating space, then you pop bubble. If you as a Zarya, if you stand out here and you pop bubble, nobody shoots you. But if you run up here and shoot the supports, they will shoot you no matter bubble or not, or else you'll just kill them, because even at 0 energy, you still do 90 damage a second with your beam, which is a lot of damage. You can kill a squishy hero in 2 seconds with your, slightly more than 2 seconds, right, with your beam with 0 energy. So, like, they have to respect that. Now, the thing is, if you go super deep here and you pop 2 bubbles, you might die here because now you have no bubbles and you're super extended. So the give and take of Zarya, like the skill is understanding how far can I push this that I can still survive with bubbles. Okay? That I want to be your overarching, like, what do I do as Zarya? And by the way, I talk about this in my Zarya gameplay guide too if you haven't seen it. But that I want you to be like the overarching thought here, which is how hard can I push and not die? And right when you're at that limit of how hard you can push, that's where bubbles get you a ton of value, both in terms of energy that you receive, but also allow you to stay in there and be high impact. So for example, you could stay over here and just beam people down, but it's not going to do anything. You're just going to be beaming the diva the whole time, right? And you're sitting out here and everyone's going to ignore you and kill your team. But if you stand here, I guarantee you they cannot ignore you because you're a threat to their supports and they're going to need to deal with you. That's the idea of playing Zarya, and frankly also all tanks, is understanding what can I get away with and trying to be aggressive. So, we'll notice right now, you've now popped 2 bubbles and you have 12 energy. If this was a GM game, you've already lost. There's almost no way I could possibly salvage this fight at this point in time. If this is a Masters game, I still think it's 90% chance that you've lost this fight. At Diamond, I would say, I'm doing PC adjusted, by the way, so PC is always going to be higher than console. Depending on the rank, it's going to be something like 1 to 2 tiers above. So at Diamond on PC, I think the odds of you winning this fight is still only up to 25-30%. And once we drop into like Plat, I think that you probably have a 45% chance of winning this fight. 40 to 45% chance of winning the fight after wasting 2 bubbles. That gives you an idea for like just how devastating it is to miss bubbles. Like if I was the opposing team, if I was Eva, I saw you do this, I would just like we were win the fight. Like I literally just ignore you now because you're not going to do any damage. I'm going to walk to your backline and kill everybody. There's nothing you can do. So don't waste bubbles, right? And that comes down to understanding when do I need to use bubbles. All right, so you beam the Genji, right? This is fine. So this is I was going to say this is good that you're holding bubble right now because you're full health. Right? You have cover, your supports are healing you, there's no reason to be popping bubble at this moment in time. Let me go back to the point. Like right now, you're good, right? You're still good. Everything is just fine now. You don't need to pop bubbles. You do not need to pop bubbles. You do not need to, like you see your healing? This beam heals for 150 health a second, by the way. Like it's crazy how fast it heals. So you don't need to do anything right now. Do not pop shield or a bubble, right? So you're gonna pop bubble right now, but look how much energy you get out of it. So at least you got some there, because the Sombra shoots you for whatever reason, but you only got 22 energy out of that. As I mentioned before, I think 25 is really the lower limit for like a non-throwing bubble. So you're pretty screwed right now, because now you've gone through 3 bubbles and you have 28 energy. Now, because this is a gold level game, this fight is still competitive, like it's possible to win here, but it's not looking good. You're certainly not going to be the one who's going to change the outcome of this fight. Right? At this point in time, you kind of wasted all your resources, and like, what can you do here? So, you're gonna beam the Genji, right? So, you're going to take a hit here at 281. Weirdly enough, I still don't pop bubble here. What's gonna damage me? The Moira? The Moira doing 50 damage a second? I don't care about that. This is fine. I don't need to pop bubble here, right? So you pop bubble anyway. You're quite lucky the Diva shoots you this much. I don't really know why she's shooting you right now. So you're going to get a good chunk of energy out of this. You're going to get, oh, not even that much. Yeah, so 16, you're going to get 24 energy out of this. So this is right on the verge of, like, not throwing. But that is an okay bubble. I would not have popped it. I would not have popped it until, quite frankly, any moment in time here, I would not have. This right now, when she activates missiles, that's when I pop bubble. Because when she activates missiles, Diva can't disable her missiles. She can't toggle them off. So she's committed to applying that damage. She could turn away, but that's still good for me because then I can just beam her down and win the trade. So that's what you want to be looking for here. Right? Whereas low, you duck behind the Diva wall. You should have reloaded right now since you're going to cover anyway. So now you only have 50 ammo instead of 100 ammo. So this, right, when she pops missiles, good opportunity to use bubble. So that's when you want it, is right here. I want to pop bubble and walk forwards. So now you got a decent amount of energy out of that. Again, you could have been a little earlier. I think you just couldn't pop it. Oh no, I think you're just, oh no, you just popped bubble too early. That's why. It's going to expire. Yeah, the bubble expired before you got full energy out of that. So it was the generally right timing to use bubble, but you had to do it a little bit later. But what causes me to say that? Why do I say, hey, bubble now, versus all the other times I say don't bubble? Because the Diva pops missiles, and she's clearly tunnel visioned on the soldier. That's when I want to bubble and step forwards, and now I can eat all that damage, and now I'm good to go. Kill Mercy, right? By the way, note about the way Diva's, or Zarya's ammo work. So her right click uses 25 ammo, but it does full damage up to whether or not you have 25 ammo or not. So whether or not you have 1 ammo or 25 ammo left, it still gives you 1 right click. So the correct way to play Zarya, if you want to maximizing damage, which you should be, because Zarya is a very damage-focused hero, like Zarya has like no utility other than like shielding people with bubbles. Beyond that, all she does is damage, but she's incredible at doing damage. Zarya is the best hero in the game when she has full energy and bubbles. I don't even think it's close. I don't think there's any hero in the game that can deal with her when she has full energy and bubbles. She does 170 damage per second, and she has multiple sources of immunity. It's like nuts. Anyway, you want to beam people if you're trying to burn down a target. Let's like a training dummy. Like let's say we're trying to do like a DPS parse, like we would for like an MMO or something. What you want to do is you want to hold left click, which is your beam, until you get as low ammo as possible, so down to like 1, and then you right click, and that gives you a big burst of damage because your regular left click does twice as much damage as right clicking to a single target, right? So it is 90 damage per second for your beam. At 0 energy, and it goes up to 170. So an easy way to think of how much damage per second you do is take this number and add 100, and it's close. It's not actually that, but it's like close enough. In reality, it's actually probably closer to adding 80. Is a good way to think about it, but if you can't remember that and you just want to add a 1 digit, that's fine too. It'll give you a ballpark for how much damage you do per second. So at 0 energy, if we do the 100 trick, at 0 energy, I do 100 damage a second. At 100 energy, I do 200 damage a second. Close enough. That will tell you what fights can I win or not. So for example, if I'm trying to fight a Cassidy and I'm at 0 energy, can I kill a Cassidy with 90 damage a second? Probably not. But if I have 100 energy, can I kill Cassidy with 200 damage a second? Yeah, for sure. Like, that Cassidy's dead. He's mincemeat if I can do 200 damage a second. So that gives you a good, like, just framework for thinking how much damage a second to do. Because it's not obvious in the game how much damage you do. That's number 1. Number 2 is how much damage do your right clicks, the ball of energy, right? The AoE splash ball, which I'm going to call right click, because right click on PC. How much damage do your right clicks do? Well, if you're right clicking, it does 45 damage at 0 energy, and it does 90 damage at 100 energy. So just exactly doubled. Now, 45 damage is not great, obviously, but it can splash multiple targets. But I'm trying to kill a single target, which is most of the time. That's not that good. And even 90 damage is not that great per second, but if I'm using it to finish somebody, then it's fantastic, because I don't have to worry about the cooldown period. If somebody has 90 health and I have 100 energy, I should right-click them because it'll insta-kill them, and I don't have to worry about the fact that it takes me a long time to wait until my next right-click or left-click. So, again, when you're trying to damage people down, you should make it a muscle memory habit when you're beaming them. When your ammo gets low, you right-click. I will tell you, this is a fairly hard skill to do accurately because you have to know how much ammo you have left, but it's hard to look at your ammo when you're also trying to beam a target. Right? It's like hard to use your peripheral vision to track that. So it's often, it's like, I don't even look at it, I just use it like by instinct. The closer you can get it to 0, without being 0, because as soon as you hit 0, you can no longer right click, and that's a huge DPS loss. As soon as you get it low, you want to right click, and the closer you can get it to 0, the better of a Zarya player you are. So when you see top Zaryas doing it, they're going to consistently be popping it pretty much always below 10, and sometimes below 5. While for me, I would say I consistently pop it below 20, and maybe half the time get it below like 12 or 13, because I'm just not that good at Zarya relative to the top players, of course. It's not even close. So that is like an important thing to notice, like how critical it is to be right-clicking at the end of your ammo to get that extra damage in, which helps for killing people, it helps for burning down resources, right? It helps to farm ult charge. Right? There's so many reasons why it's a really, really good thing. But you don't want to be finishing your ammo here without right-clicking. Even right now, where you're going to mess up, you're going to probably be doing it like 35, 40, because you don't have a feel for how long you can beam. Still worth it to start practicing now. Even if it hurts you in the short term, it'll help you in the long term. By the way, this is also one of the many hero-specific techniques that you need to learn to get better, like a lot better. And this is why I mentioned trying to focus on a smaller pool, because there's so many techniques with every hero has something like this or many things like this, right? Reinhardt, I have like a 6-minute guide on all the small subtle techniques that Reinhardt has. Zarya, I could just talk about things like this all day. We're not even talking about things like popping people in the air with right clicks and beaming them down. There's so much to it, but you don't learn this stuff unless you play the hero a lot. When I say a lot, by the way, I mean playing a hero for 100 hours. Now, you may not want to do that, but if you're hey, I want to improve, you're going to have to grind away and get that skill. I guarantee you, if you play a high-level player and you're wow, this person's really good, they have over 100 hours on that hero alone. It's sometimes they have 1,000 hours. I play people who have 1,000 hours on Genji, which for the record is half the total amount of hours that I have playing Overwatch. And guess what? They're extremely good at Genji. They're crazy good because they have so much time on it. Alright, so the Rens comes out here. I generally think eating one Fire Strike with Bubble is not a good idea, but I actually think you could have gotten more than this because the Genji's going to shoot you here, I bet. Yeah, see, you saw the shurikens in the air? So that would have been worth, because a reminder, Genji gives you, what did we decide on? 16 energy, right? 16 energy with the shurikens, plus 100, Fire Strike does 100 damage, so that's half a Bubble. That's 100, or 20 plus 16, that's 36 energy? Yeah, that's worth. I would Bubble right here, just get energy. Because you have no energy right now, so you actually really needed that Bubble. Or rather, you really need that energy. So, let's think for a second. How do I win this fight? Well, what do I need to do here? I don't need to do anything, because we're on defense. It's their job to push. You're often going to get in situations, especially if you play Brawl heroes, where you're going to be on one side of the cart, and they're on the other side of the cart. And you have to decide, what do I do here? And your options are usually stay on your side of the cart, or push to their side of the cart. When you're on defense, I would say 75 to 90% of the time, the correct decision is just stay on your side of the cart. The reason being is you have defensive advantage here. You want to force them to walk through a tiny choke while getting shot at by your whole team to come over here to try to fight you. And that way they open their side up to your team. That's what you want to do to them. But the thing is, if you do that to them, you are in the exact same problem, right? You come out here, you try to beam the Rhine, and you get blown up from the side or pinned off away from your team. So don't try to cross here, just stay in front of the cart, because every second that goes by is good for you because you're on defense. So unless there's a compelling reason why you need to push, like A, you're on offense, or B, you know that they're about to build a big ultimate and you don't have any ultis, there's no reason to speed up the fight, just sit behind the cart. So you see right here, this is a mistake what you're doing. You're trying to walk forwards and trying to apply pressure to the back line. But you notice this is basically completely ineffective. You wasted 2 bubbles there, because remember, you have 2 bubbles coming into this. You're going to waste 2 bubbles, and you're going to get up to 33 energy. This is no good. Or actually, we waste one bubble, right? But even for 1 bubble, I don't think that was good value. I don't think that was worth it, right? This bubble, I think, is okay, but again, you only ate a single Fire Strike, but it doesn't matter because your team's going to win this fight anyway because your soldier carried. Right? So from here, they're going to clean up. You'll notice that sometimes I talk about stuff and it doesn't seem to impact the fight, right? Obviously, I just spent a lot of time talking about what you should have done, blah, 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 but you won anyway. But the thing is, you won because your soldier killed 2. So unless you're going to rely on a DPS killing 2 for the rest of your career, you need to understand what is the best play regardless of what my team ends up doing. And that's why I'm saying just chill on the cart and mirror the Rhine and prevent him from doing anything, and that's going to help you win the game. And that's going to be the problem here when they're going to push in again. So they failed to push up through gate, right? Up main road. So the Ryan's going to come this way, and he's going to go up here, and he's going to apply pressure on your back line. You are out of position. You hear it, by the way. You hear the footsteps right now. That's why you're turning and looking for it. Your goal is to just come over here and just meet the Ryan in the doorway and just beam him, right? Okay, he tries to go to the right. I go to the right doorway, and I sit here. Goes left. Great. Sit here and fight him. Like, I have bubbles. I have my team healing me. The Ryan can't do anything. Like, he can't walk out and fight me with 4 or 5 people here. Just mirror him, and you prevent the Ryan from doing anything, and then you're good, right? Force them to use ultimates to try to win this fight. But you're out of position right now. You have, to some extent, already lost this fight because you're going this way when the Ryan's already gone through. And you jump up here, but the Ryan's already in. See? The Ryan's already coming behind you because you are out of position. See? Ryan's coming. This is not a sneaky flank, right? He's just walking up here at full speed, right? You hear stomp, 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 stomp as he comes up, and you're just out of position. So, watch what happens here. He's going to walk up, and he goes straight for your back line. He ignores the Ashe, right? Ignores the Yari, goes straight for the Moira. He goes for the Moira. Moira fades, understandably, because he's like, why is there a Ryan in my face? So Moira's going to fade. Where's the fade taker? Out of the fight. See where the Moira lands? The fact that the Moira's over here, ignore Coalescence for a second, means the Moira can't heal anyone anymore. And that happened because the Rhine created space by aggressing on the Moira, forcing her to leave your team and you. Which means your primary form of healing, which is the Moira, has been removed because the Rhine just ran at her. He didn't use anything to do so. He didn't have to pop ultimates. He didn't get nanoed, right? He didn't even use Fire Strike here. He literally just walked up to her and swung at her, and that forced her out of the fight. That's bad, right? But that's an example of what tanks can do when they're being effective. They use the threat of their damage to force your team to use defensive abilities, which puts them out of position and vulnerable. That's number 1. Number 2. You might also have seen the Rhine hits your soldier here. See that? Now your soldier is in a lot of danger and trouble. He could have died right here, but the enemy team now knows that he's low. So that's 2, is the soldier's going to be low, potentially for the rest of the fight. I don't actually remember what happens from here. But note the soldier could have died right there because of the Rhine, right? The Rhine got a swing in, shurikens hit the soldier dies, etc. What does your Moira do? Your Moira realizes, oh shoot, I'm out of position. This soldier is low. He would never have been low if the Moira was able to stay here and heal her. Plus, the Rhine would never have hit him. But even if the Rhine was able to hit the soldier, if the Moira had been able to stay, she would have healed up the soldier. So then he would never be low, which means she never pops Coalescence. Such a small thing, like being here instead of mirroring the Rhine, has caused a cascading chain of events that causes you to lose this fight. Because the Moira fades, the soldier gets low, and the Moira pops Coalescence. Is this a good Coalescence? No, this is a bad Coalescence. Because Coalescence is best used when your team is in the line in front of you and the enemy team is in a line behind them. Because that means I can heal my team and damage the enemy at the same time. That is a good Coalescence. A good Coalescence, a bad Coalescence is one where I'm popping it where there are no enemies visible, and I'm using it to heal a soldier who is not going to die anyway. This Coalescence is a mistake. But this is gold, which means players make mistakes. I mean, even as GM, players make mistakes. The goal of playing tank is trying to make your team's job easier. Don't scare them, right? Don't put them in positions where they are pressured. Otherwise, they will make mistakes sooner or later at all levels of play. And this could have been prevented by literally just standing here in front of the Rhine, beaming him, or frankly just meleeing him would have worked. Because he can't swing at you because your team would blow him up. It's not about you, it's about the fact that you're physically preventing him from walking forwards, which gives your team the psychological safety to be able to stay and shoot at him versus running away. So, Coalescence is popped, soldier is low, Moira has no fade. What are you doing here? You're trying to beam the back line. You're super overextended right now. And why are you overextended? Because your support can't see you. Your Moira can't see you here. Your Yari has to come all the way over to heal you. And if you stayed over here, your Yari could play like right here, or right here, or right here, anywhere with cover. Anywhere where she could be safe. Anywhere where your team could be safe. But because you passed the corner, your whole team has rotated out of safe positions. See? This is better, right? When they're all over here, all playing back here, they're also nice and safe. Like they should be playing closer, ideally closer to doorways, but the Rhine's here, which is preventing them from playing this house, which is a good spot for them. Okay? The Rhine comes in, you'll see everyone starts running backwards, right? Ashe goes this way, Ilyari pulls this way, Soldier goes this way, Moira goes back, right? Now they're like, oh shoot, our tank's overextended, so everyone walks forward to try to help you. Well, what's the problem here? You'll notice that everyone is clumped now. And now you've lost. I'm pausing here because I want this to sink in. Your positioning causes your team to lose because they're all marching to your beat. Your decisions about where you play are the single biggest impacting factor into where your team decides to stand. And when you step up like that, your team gets spooked because they have no idea if you're going to commit down here or not. If they know you're coming back, maybe they'd stay back. But if they think, hey, this Zarya's crazy, she's trying to kill everyone in the back line, I don't want her to die without me being able to heal her, they all step forwards. And when they all step forwards, now you need a 5-man EMP. So, because of that, Moira's going to die here, right? Ilyari dies here, and what can you do? Nothing, right? It's like, yeah, you pop a bubble, but it doesn't matter, you're going to lose anyway. So, all the things have gone wrong here. I would also note here is that, so look how low the Moira is going to get as a result. So she's going to pop Coalescence here, trying to keep people alive. Coalescence gets popped. Because she's forward, she's going to be taking damage. Now she's gone hacked, she's taking 100 damage, and she's going to get burned down and killed. And she wasted Coalescence. All of this is because of you. Because where she should be is right here. In which case, oh, I get EMP'd, she just steps around the corner. And then steps up. She should never be visible for this Coalescence. Right? A chain, your small thing, not mirroring the Rhine in the situation, causes a chain reaction of problems. Now, I'm going to address something else that's very possibly going through your mind here, which is people say, attack the backline, ignore the tank. It's true, but it's also not true. If all else were equal, if you're standing somewhere where there are, let me try to get both of them in view. If you're standing somewhere where there are two targets that are equally, okay, right here, where you have three targets that are equally close to you. You have a tank, a DPS, and a support, shoot the support. If the support's not there, shoot the DPS. If the DPS is not there, shoot the Rhine. The thing is, the game doesn't actually play out like this 90% of the time. Usually what happens is you're playing like this, where the tank is the one in your face, and the DPS and the support are in the back line. Don't waste your time and endanger yourself by trying to chase the back line if there's a tank in front of you that you can do a reasonable amount of damage to. It's different if you're playing a tank that has mobility. If I'm playing a Winston, a Ball, a Doomfist, maybe a Diva in some circumstances, even a Junker Queen, I can think about diving on them, or flanking them, right? Or off-angling them. Those are options for me. But as brawl tanks, as poke tanks, you don't have that luxury. You just need to kill whatever the frontmost target is. And what it looks like to me here is that you're forcing that idea of like, I need to go for the backline, because you hear your Rhine in the backline. So I think you're thinking, oh, I'm going to burn down the enemy backline. The problem is you have zero energy. You're just not a threat. Like, look how little damage you do to this Moira. Okay? The Moira is your primary target right now, for the record. This is the only one you're going to damage here. You're beaming, okay? You did 20 damage to her. She didn't need the fade here. She could just pop Healing Orb, and she could just like sat through it and just held right click. Because Healing Orb heals for 75 or 100 health a second, and her right click heals for 24 health a second. She literally out heals your damage even with perfect tracking. She doesn't need the fade here. This is a gold level mistake. Like, there's no reason that you should have forced fade here at all. But like from there, what do? Nothing. You literally did 20 damage to a Moira, fired out 47 ammo, and did nothing else here constructive. And now you're gonna die. Or your whole team's gonna die. So that's what I mean, is like you really have to be careful about when you decide to get overextended. And understanding what overextension looks like, why it's an overextension. So you come back to the fight, your soldier's dead already, because this is just stagger, right? This is just bad place. You're 2 DPS down, I leave. Right now, I shout and I leave. Because you're not going to win this 5-on-3, and you don't want to stay out here, or you're going to get picked off one by one, which is going to continue the stagger. People complain about their teammates staggering all the time, but every video review I've ever seen of anyone who ever complains about their teammates staggering are also part of the problem. Like, it is so clear every time I watch it that they are just as much part of the staggering as everyone else is. Right now, you've lost 2. Shout, get out, reset, play here, and get ready to contest like at the very last second. Okay? Because you have to wait 10 seconds for your DPS to spawn, and then another 10 to 15 seconds for them to run all the way to this corner. And only once they're here can you contest. You have no realistic way of contesting until that happens because you're outnumbered by 2 people. Right? You see this? This is exactly what you shouldn't be doing. Because if I was the Rhine, and I saw you do this, I immediately charge. Whether or not I pin you or not doesn't matter. I'm just trying to stick you inside. Like if I charge here and I bump you instead of pinning you, I bump you towards this wall, and then I sit here and I full commit to killing you. What are you going to do? You're outnumbered by 2 people. You see? Like the Sombra's on your backline, your Genji's going to be either on your backline or on you, and I have 2 supports with me. Even if your supports just keep you alive, my DPS eventually kill your supports, and then I kill all 3 of you, and then we walk forward and it's an easy cap because your 2 DPS can't stop this push. Like, this is the kind of thing that you got to be tracking. You need to know I'm down the DPS. I can't be taking this fight right now because you have no way of winning. And I think you feel that now. I think you're like, wait, we're not actually making any appreciable progress. Your supports are doing a good job healing you, but you're not actually stopping them. You see? And now your backline is dead, and now you're going to die here sooner or later. Right? The supports need to be leaving card here to save the Rhine, but see? You're up here, you're trying to fight, but like this is all fruitless. Like this might feel like you had a chance, you never had a chance. Not for a single moment here did you ever have any chance. Even if Genji hadn't bladed here, you still lose. I'm telling you, there's no way you could have won this. It's way too hard. Right? There just aren't enough teammates alive for you to win this fight. So, yeah, I mean, even if you kill the Rhine here, I'm pretty sure they still win this. Where's the Sombra, though? Oh, Sombra's over here, that's why. Oh, wow, she's like way the heck back. Yeah, she messed up real bad. I don't think she meant to translocate this far away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did not mean to translocate this far away. But regardless, yeah, this fight's long over. You never had a chance at winning this fight. You're just feeding the enemy team ult charge. That's what you're doing right now. I know it's probably tough to hear, where you're like, oh, I thought I had a chance. That you never had a chance. Not for a single second. I knew right away. So, when you come up here, I've lost one. Unless I can get this trade right away, it's not going to happen. I now know the Sombra's available on my flank. I can maybe poke a little bit here, but now I hear, hey, Genji on my right flank, I need to go. I shout and run over here right away because I see that the Mercy's there and pocketing the Genji. There's no way my Ashe can win here. I have 2 close range supports. Neither one of them can save an Ashe on the flank, which is exactly what happens. That's why as soon as I see the Mercy and the Genji go up, I shout and I run over to the Ashe to save her life. So what I do is I shout, I run here, I save the Ashe, and I pull the whole team back and play somewhere around here to here. And I wait for my soldier to come back to give me a chance at winning. Never had a chance at winning this fight. Alright, Genji goes in. Fine, that's fine. Right. So, you should hear these footsteps at this moment in time. You need to hear the footsteps. I really hope you're wearing a headset. You need to hear the footsteps out of your left ear and think, there is a large German man in armor clanking around on my left side. I need to deal with this, and specifically, I need to worry about Shatter. Reinhardt gets Shatter roughly every 2 fights. An easy way to think of this is, did he Shatter in the last fight? No. I have to play like he has Shatter in this fight. And playing like he has Shatter in this fight means do not clump with your team, try to stay apart from them, and try to save Shout so that you can survive, you/your team can survive Shatter. That's how you deal with Shatter as a Junker Queen, because you don't have anything that can block it, unlike a lot of other tanks. Which is okay, it's still a totally playable matchup. But you ignoring this Rhine, who's not crouching even, he's just straight up running, and now what do? Right? That, like, audio awareness. Hey, I don't see a tank, but I hear a tank. Also, the tank has Shatter, but even without Shatter, you still shouldn't. Like, even if the Rhine didn't have Shatter here, you still don't want this to happen, because he's going to walk into your backline, just start swinging. The Moira's going to have to jump out, right? The Yari, oh, there's Lucio now. But, like, the Lucio's going to have to leave, right? Your Ashe is going to die here, and then you're just going to be left alone, and they pick you off and kill you. So all the things are going wrong for you on defense here. Alright, playing up here, this is fine. Just keep working. Honestly, working the shield down is not unreasonable. Like, it seems silly, but it is not unreasonable at all. Do not trade swings with the Rhine like this. You see how he gets 2, 3 swings on you for you to land 1 axe swing is not good value. What you want to do here is shoot, I see he steps forward, I walk backwards, and then I pop axe and walk forwards and hit him. And that way he only gets 1 hammer swing on me, not 3 for the price of 1. He does 85 damage per swing. That's 240 damage. Axe does 60 plus 70, I want to say, 130 total. So he's doing almost double your damage. Why do you do this? Right? Like, that's what you want to avoid. You don't want to trade damage like negatively against an enemy unless you absolutely have to. It's okay to do it against DPS or supports because you have twice as much health as they do. But against tank, don't trade negatively. That's a huge part about playing tank, is understanding how do I out-trade them in neutral. Neutral is when the fight's not committed right now. This is what would be called the neutral or poke phase at this moment in time. But Ryan gets 3 swings on you in here. He could have gotten Fire Strike for an extra 100 damage right now. There's honestly no... Oh, 4 swings? Holy shit. 5 swings? Yeah, that's pretty rough. But again, you have a shotgun, so you can stay outside of his swing range, right? So here, I play further back, so he has to, like, not, he can't hit me with hammer. Then he pops shield, but then my team starts shooting him. Then I go there. Then, then you kill him. All right, so your team manages to wipe, mostly because of you. Like, I don't think you do anything of consequence in this fight. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure that your DPS just kill everybody. Which is another good reason to point out the fact that, like, you can't win fights without your DPS. I don't think you're mechanically, like, differentiated enough from your peers in this lobby to carry games by yourself. Sometimes you are, right? Like, I definitely run those scenarios when I'm playing, like, Zarya or whatever, where I can just be like, honestly, if my support just pocking me, I'll literally kill everybody. But you're not good enough at Junker Queen to do that. At least not yet. Right? You're not good enough with a shotgun. You're definitely not good enough with a knife. So until you can do that, you need to recognize I need my team to win a lot of fights and think about how to play with your team, right? Which involves making sure that they are alive as a baseline moment, right? Soldier's over here, super overextended, right? Burns the Moira down, right? Ashe kills the Moira. Soldier pops visor and kills everybody. Like, you see, like, you don't do anything here. It's all your DPS that kill everyone, and this is a bad EMP. Okay, so Ryan switched to D.Va, which is fine. I mean, not necessary here, but fine. This is a good example where D.Va wants to walk in, right? She flies in right here. She has no flight. I walk forward and I do Axe right now because she's going to DM here. I know she's going to DM because she's super low. And if she's super low, if she doesn't DM, she's going to get demeched. But if I hit her Axe swing right now, I demech her right away. See? That's an opportunity where you could demech this D.Va. Demeching D.Va is as good as a kill. In some cases, it's actually better than a kill because it takes her so long to get mech back. So, like, that's the read you need to make here is, what do I do when the D.Va's coming at me? Oh, she's flying at me? Well, she's flying at my whole team. I can see how much damage she's taking. She's going to be super low. Great. Shout is fine. Pop Axe, kill the D.Va. Pop Axe, swing, melee, instant pop on the D.Va. And then from there, I like, follow her down, and I just kill everyone. Because at this point, you're too strong for them to stop you with no tank. Oh, man. Okay, so back to your mistakes lead to teammates' mistakes. What's going to happen here? Let's do like the vertical view. So your team is in a 5-on-4 situation. I have no idea where the heck their Sombra is. All right, it is a 5-on-5 situation. You're playing D.Va. You should already have demech. If I'm you, I've demeched the D.Va by now, in which case this fight is clearly won. But because the fight is not clearly won, the Ashe is popping Bob, which is a waste because this fight's over. Right? Again, if you pop the D.Va mech, this fight's over. It doesn't matter what the heck else they're going to do. The fight is over. I don't want my team popping ultis here. Bob goes out. And of course, now the issue is, because the fight's not clearly won, and Lucio sees the soldier gets low, he pops beat here. This is a terrible beat. There's no reason this beat should be happening, because this fight should be over. Like, not only did the D.Va basically demech herself by flying into you, 1, 2, Bob's already used. Now, the Bob's put in a terrible position, partially because of the Sombra threat on the flank, but like, if you are just slightly better with your mechanics, not skill, not like aiming, right? We're not saying like, oh, you gotta be able to headshot somebody from a mile away. We're just like, hey, look, D.Va pops DM, I axe and I melee her, and then that pops her. If you're just slightly better at your mechanics, it's much more likely that your team doesn't pop these 2 ultimates. And with these 2 ultimates gone, now your team is gonna win the fight, but at what cost? This is a Pyrrhic victory, right? This is a fight where you're like, wow, the cost of losing was almost as high as winning it. Or cost of winning it was almost as high as losing. Because now, you're missing 3 ultimates, and they're coming back with their ultimates. Because Blade's going to be coming out in the next fight, and Lucio's not going to have Pete. That's the whole reason why he's Lucio, is to use Sound Barrier to stop Blade. You lost the previous fight, the 3-on-5, partially because the Genji bladed. it was a good switch here to go Lucio to try to stop Blade, but now that beat is forced, what do you do? See? That's what I'm trying to instill upon you right now. We're like spending a ton of time in the first few minutes of the game. I don't think we're going to do this whole replay. It's going to be super long. But that's what I want to instill upon you, just like thinking through that is, look, if I don't do my job, it causes my teammates to try to cover up for me. And when they try to cover up for me, they burn resources that we need for later when they're truly things that I can't do anything about. So now if I'm thinking this, if this has been me, right, in this situation, I'm thinking they have Blade. I need to deal with Blade. I know they don't have EMP because we saw the EMP go off the previous fight where it was wasted. They just swapped to Orisa, so I know that I don't have to deal with tank ultimate. I don't know if you saw Mercy Valk in this fight or not. You probably saw it in the previous fight. Oh no, you see it in this fight, right? So now you see Mercy Valk. So now I know I have 2 ultimates to deal with. This is effectively 1 fight territory. If I lose 1 fight here, they will probably cap it. Like, we might be able to trickle in and slow it down, but most likely I cannot stop the cap if we lose it. So we're in 1 fight territory. How do I win the next fight without having to, without the fact that I no longer have a defensibility? Priority number 1 is Blade. Coalescence, I can't really do anything about, right? I can try to pressure and force Fade, but realistically, what can I do about Coalescence? But Blade, I can do something about, especially because it's a virtually naked Blade, meaning it doesn't have enough damage boost to one-shot people. So I'm going to be saving Shout here to shout my team when the Genji pops Blade. That's number 1 thing to think about. Number 2, I want to be constantly poking the Genji so he can't get in good position to Blade. I want the Genji to Blade here, not here. And if I'm constantly chipping the Genji for 30 to 50 damage, he can't get to here to pop the Blade and then dive in right away, right? He's going to be constantly oh, I'm too far away, I got to get healing. He walks up, oh, I took damage, I got to go back, I got to heal. Oh, I took damage, I got to go over here and heal. And I'm bleeding that time off to give my support the chance to try to build back ulti to stop the next Blade. That's number 1, number 2, which is save Shout for Blade. Well, actually, I would say number 1 is realize what ultimates you have to face off. Because this is when tracking ultimates is the most important. When it comes down to 1 fight that changes the outcome of the round. You have to be tracking ultimates at this point and thinking, what ultimates could I possibly be facing? Which is why I hit tab, the scoreboard button, all the time. To try to check it, oh, what do they got? Who swapped what? When was the last time I remember them popping an ultimate? So, for 1, track ultis. 2, against Blade, try to save Shout to save your team, because the speed and extra health is extremely effective at preventing him from killing people. Number 3 is poke down the Genji so that he can't get in good position for Blade. It will slow him down for sure if you can do that. Number 4, I have ultimate. I have a good offensive ultimate, but not a good defensive ultimate. But the problem is, if they get in position and they pop Blade, before I pop Rampage, I probably can't kill his team as fast as he can kill mine with Blade. Because Blade is a better ultimate than Rampage is at killing people, because he's a DPS and I'm a tank. And tank ultimates are usually about disruption than they are about killing. Now, they can kill, obviously, like Grav, etc., Rampage, but it's more so about messing up the opposing team, while DPS ultimates are solely focused on killing people. So your perspective here should be, if I can get an early Rampage in that's not going to get interrupted or blocked by Orisa, I should be doing it. Because I don't have to worry about EMP. I could get hacked out of it, but so be it. I don't have to worry about EMP. The Mercy can't Valk to escape it, and they have Blade coming. Might as well be looking for it. Alright, you're AFK here for some reason. Your Ashe is super forward. You should drop right now and immediately shout. Unfortunately, I have no idea what you're doing right now if you're looking at your phone or whatever, but this was a devastating mistake. Now that you lost 1, the odds of you winning this fight go from 50-50 to 25%. Should your Ashe have been there? Absolutely not. But should you have been AFK? Absolutely not. If you shout there, your Ashe lives. So that's really painful. It makes it really hard to win this fight now. So, Orisa's come forward, she used Spin, and she used Fortify at this point in time. And Javelin. So Javelin's gone off, Spin's gone off, Fortify's gone off. She no longer can stop my ultimate. So if I want to ult, I'm good to go whenever. This is a perfectly reasonable time to pop ulti right now, go back here, hit everyone, and then force kill the Mercy at this point in time. See? The problem is, now you waited too long. And they're already walking forwards at this point. But, still winnable, right? Orisa went down. Moira went down. And we're gonna kill the Mercy, right? Genji pops Blade, he kills 2. You're not there to deal with it, but hopefully he should win. This, by the way, excuse me, is pure mechanics. That's a huge whiff. Right there. That's a huge whiff. That's okay, good shot, right? 80 damage, remember, is your cap. That's how much damage you can do if you don't hit any headshots. But let's not even worry about headshots right now. So that's basically a full damage shot. Hit the knife swing, right? Just pull, shoot. You pull, you don't shoot, you go for the axe swing, but she bumps into the wall, so you're gonna miss. So that's really bad. Again, just shooting her would have killed her by now. That's a massive whiff. That doesn't, not even a single pellet hits her. And that is like a 90% whiff on her. So you used 6 ammo, 1 knife, and 1 axe, and you couldn't kill a Mercy. Yeah, that sucks. You know, like, that's going to prevent you from climbing. Because if you can't get opportunities like this, which is basically about as easy as it gets, you're going to struggle at higher ranks when people are just way better at movement, damage, healing, etc. This Mercy, by the way, is never going to die, as far as I remember. Also, I think you saw Translocator here. Yeah, you did. You should have shot that on your way out. Oh, no, sorry. You did kill the Mercy here. You did kill the Mercy here. She could have lived by flying to her team, but she doesn't. I'm thinking of another fight. By the way, you can see the Sombra right now. Just shoot her. Like, get her to translocate. Alright, so we're chilling right now. We want to play safe. I don't have health. I don't have supports. Setting up. By the way, the Genji killed 3 of your teammates there. So your rampage was actually big. I think you could have done it earlier, but your rampage was big and a huge part of why you won that fight. So a little slow. I think you're shouting here to try to save your teammate, which is a good call. But it's just a little slow here, and I think I would have turned to check if she actually needs healing or needs to shout. In most situations, Sombra should not be able to kill the Ashe here with 2 supports alive. Like, bunched up like this should not be a kill, which is why I would not be popping shout here. Even against the GM Sombra with much better aim, the supports are faster to react, so it balances each other out, more or less. So I'm not thinking to pop shout there. Because now that you don't have shout, it like limits your options. These knives are like killing me. Like, there are 4 eligible targets right here, including the Orisa, which is like a guaranteed knife stick. You're gonna just chuck it like at the ground, not really at anybody. So that's rough. Yeah, go for the Moira, but the problem with the Moira is, remember what I said earlier, is if you've never seen somebody use an ability, assume they have it. So why would you open here with Axe when you haven't seen her use Fade? She's just going to fade out of this. She does do it a little late, so she ends up taking a ton of damage for no reason, but that's not a good plan. Just shoot her in this situation. This close, shoot once, shoot twice, right? Shoot her again, force the fade, then chase her down after if I can, and get the kill. Yeah, so this is a good multi-hit opportunity for Junker Queen. You can actually get 3 here. When you swing, and as you hear, as the hitbox comes out, swing your mouse or control stick with the direction of the axe, and it's going to lengthen the hitbox of the axe. This is extremely common for Rhine. You can watch my Rhine techniques guide to understand what I mean by when I talk about camera swing, but it's the exact same technique with Junker Queen's axe. You could have hit 3 people here with this axe with slightly better mechanics. And 130 damage to the opposing team as opposed to 390 damage to the opposing team is a massive difference. Like, that is a ton of extra damage. So, yeah, I think that's something that you really, 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 really want to be thinking about in the future. Right. So, now you're in. So now you're stuck in them, right? This is the point where you got to get kills. Nothing matters at this point. Forget the positioning, forget the ult tracking, forget the ability. At this point, just kill people. That's your job right now. This is like pure mechanics. Kill people as fast as you can. Genji got hit with it, but I don't care because the Mercy's in my face. I shoot the Mercy and I knife her right away. Shoot, knife stick, right? Try to shoot her again. When she flies, pull her back in, shoot once more. I probably kill her in the second shot, but if I if I can't do it, then I have the knife stick to kill her as well. So that's what you're looking for right here. Plus a melee if she tries to fly away to get the extra hit in. Is that who you're going for? You are not. You're still going for the Mercy. It's not like you don't know there's a Mercy here, because there's a heal beam literally going through the center of your screen. So you know there's a Mercy here. Like, there's no way you cannot know there's a Mercy here. You should be targeting the Mercy. And it's funny because earlier, your Zarya, you were going after backline when the tank was in your face. And I was like, man, maybe you should just mirror the tank. In this situation, you truly have a great opportunity to kill the backline, but you're not killing the right members of the backline. You're killing the person who's getting healed for 55 health a second, not the person who's not getting healed at all. Like, that's the key right there. Just kill the Mercy and you're good. So this is bad. All the things here are bad. So I also want to focus on your aim again for a second. That's a good shot, right? That's okay. That's okay, right? Axe swing hit. I want to see a shot right after this. That's basically a complete whiff. That's a complete whiff. That's a whiff, right? I think you hit her with like one pellet. That's a complete whiff. And that's another complete whiff. And now you're out of ammo. This is tough, right? Like, you can win this fight if you deal damage. This is the moment where you just gotta like buckle down and be like, look, I gotta hit my shots. And I don't coach aim because coaching aim is a very difficult thing to do and frankly quite tedious as well. But your aim's a problem. Let's leave it at that. Your aim is definitely a problem because this, I think, is an easy. Forget a GM level Junker Queen. I think even like a Diamond level Junker Queen has killed at least the Mercy here right now and is working her way through killing the Moira or the Genji. And I think a GM Junker Queen would have already killed 2 heroes here by this moment in time and would be working on killing the 3rd. And you're not even close to killing 1. This is popped. Just shout to get out. Yep. As a reminder, you move slower when you're walking backwards or to some extent sideways. So the best way to get out of this is turn and walk straight out instead of going sideways like that. After beat goes off, right? Beat goes off, beat gives you 750 health, EMP goes off, it halves it. Okay, great. You still have 100 plus over health plus your shield. Go right back in and just fight. Fight it out. You don't want to be this far away. You want to be in here right now with your team fighting it out for sure. But Soldier's going to carry. Man, your Soldier's just like carrying, right? He's killed 1, 2, 3 people. Like that's what you need to be doing, right? You want to be the soldier. You want to be the one carrying the game. So, managed to win the fight. I think we'll go through offense kind of quickly. All right, Torb's here. Torb's here, all alone. This, by the way, is a good call to go left side. Torb's here, all alone as far as you know. Kill him. What are you going to do? Not kill him. Why? Is it because your aim? No, because you're going to run over here and kill the turret. How much damage does a turret do? Take a second. Think about it. How much damage do you think a turret does? How much damage per second? We'll give you some options. All right, 25 damage a second, 50 damage a second, 75 damage a second, 100 damage a second. So 25 damage a second, I would say that's in like basically negligible to like any hero. 25, like you do 30 damage a second when you're meleeing for perspective. 50 damage a second is okay. That's like Moira's leech damage. Like it's a problem, but it's not like a serious problem. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like it's eventually gonna be a problem, but like it's not urgently an issue. 75 damage, that's good damage. That's something I need to respect. I'll be dead in two and a half seconds-ish, right, as a squishy hero. Not like I can't get out of this, but like I need to pay attention to the fact that I'm taking damage right now, like, and take this seriously. 100 damage a second is like, okay, that's a very serious amount of damage, and I need to like immediately deal with this problem. Turrets do 44 damage a second. That's not a lot. That's like really not a lot. Against the tank, especially a tank who's being pocketed right now by your Mercy, this turret does basically 0 damage to you. I know it's not literally 0, it's literally 44 damage a second. But in terms of how it should impact your decision making, it should be 0. You should ignore this turret. This is a common problem that I see with low rank players, is that they're like, oh god, turrets, I need to kill a turret. Nobody ever kills a turret. You don't need to kill this turret. Your job is not to kill the turret. Your job is to kill the Torb. So when you come up here, I'm coming up here, I'm looking, shouting, right? I shoot him, he's gonna start trying to run away. I throw the knife, stick him, I shoot him again, I pull him back towards me, I shoot, and I melee. Guaranteed death. I don't care how good this Torb is, he's dead. If I landed the knife, there is no way he's dying or getting away here. But even if I don't land the knife, that's still a ton of damage that he has to deal with in this situation. And why can I do that? Because there's no one here to stop me. There's no supports that can heal him. There's no tank, right, who can peel here, right, or disrupt me. There's a Genji who could theoretically do something, but he's not going to want to mess with you when you have the Mercy. He might go after your Mercy, but he's not going to go after you. So this Torb, despite having 350 health, right, from the Overload, he should die right now. You just literally run at him in a straight line, force him to run backwards in a straight line, knife stick him, kill him. That's what you got to do right now. This is what mechanics are all about, right? You keep playing Junker Queen over and over and over again, learning to deathmatch people, learning how to win fights, get kills. This is the moment where you shine and just straight up kill this Torb. Don't worry about the turret, just kill the Torb. Right? Even though you go pretty late here, right? The same general idea applies, but the Torb's gonna get away now. Sort of. He really should have gotten away just by going down here and getting healing, but for some reason he runs to the left, despite the fact that this is visible. Like, these are the kinds of players you're playing against who are like, hey, look, I'm super low. Let me run back towards the person, like the serial killer chasing me, so that I can die here. You know, like this is just silly here. There's no reason for this Torb to do this. It's like actual, literal suicide. But you could have killed him like 6 seconds earlier if you just did what I said and not killed the turret, and then dealt with the turret after, if necessary. But the thing is, while this is happening, their tank's been killing your backline, so now it's a 3-on-5. So there's not a whole lot that you can do to win this fight at this point in time. You just need to reset. Genji dashes in. Genji dash in means kill the Genji. Kill the Genji. Focus the Genji. No, don't do anything else. Literally just focus the Genji. Because the Genji can't get out. He has no dash. Unless he gets a kill right now, he's stuck for the next 7 seconds. So the moment that he dashes in, like this, he dies. Like, just right now, you pop shout, I go around this cart, I attack him, right? Wait for him to deflect, but if we're on both sides, he dies, because he can't deflect from both sides at once. There's no way that he escapes this. 0% chance. This is a guaranteed kill because his Genji made a mistake by deflecting. You need to read this. You need to understand what heroes' abilities do, how long the cooldown is, what their gameplay loop is. That's how you get better. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you and trying to instill upon you right now. Genjis don't do this. Good Genjis don't do this. Unless he thought he was going to get a kill here, which is extremely unlikely because there's a Mercy here, this is a throw. This Genji is literally suiciding right here, giving his life up. Don't kill the baby diva. In fact, you actually want the baby diva to live because she's completely ineffective right now. It's going to take her a while to get mech back. Just kill the Genji. So now you've taken too long to kill the Genji, which means he's got deflect coming back up in 3 seconds, though he uses it incorrectly. Everything here by the Genji is wrong. He should have just walked out this way and gotten away with deflect. But this is gold, so people make mistakes. For the record, if you're going to melee like that, shoot first. Right? Shoot right now, then melee. And then you have the opportunity for 125 damage instead of just 45 damage. I don't know why you're walking backwards right now. You should be walking forwards, right? You want to be pushing the pace. You have an advantage. You have numbers. Like, now's the time to push. Be aggressive. Get kills. Stagger the team, right? What they did to you, you do to them. Remember in second point when you got staggered and killed? Do that to them. Don't play fair. Don't let them group up and fight 5-on-5 if you can prevent it. Just keep staggering them over and over and over again, relentlessly. Right? That's the easiest way, honestly, from climbing out of lower ranks is force staggers non-stop on the opposing team because they're never going to have the coordination to group up as 5 and you have an easy roll on offense. So you got pretty low here. Again, there's no point to axe when you know she has fade. See? Like, I just don't axe here. It's like so obvious that she's going to fade out. Like, that's her plan. You need to think, what's her plan? Why is she here? Well, her plan is to fade out. So don't go for the axe swing. Save it. You should reload. Yeah. It's okay, just keep shooting. Like, this is fine. I'm not entirely sure what your plan is here. So, the diva is going above you. You need to turn and look up and hit her with the axe. This is a bad swing that you missed this. What the heck is the diva doing? Or the Pharaoh. So, you lost 2. It's retreat time now. Retreat or die. It's die or get out, as they say. What the heck is happening with this Pharaoh? Is she just AFK? Yeah, she's just AFK. That's unfortunate. Yeah, whole team on you. I mean, you probably should die here. You are going to die here. Yeah. Alright, reset. Pharaoh's back from being AFK. So, this is not a good ulti. I knew right away. So, why is this not a good ulti? Right now. Let's think. Why is this not a good ulti? Well, problem number 1, my team is not in position to capitalize because I'm going to end up all the way over here, but my team is not ready to engage here, which means I'm going to have to fight a 5-on-1 for a non-trivial amount of time before they're able to engage. That's number 1. Number 2, does this even get me far enough? right? Like, I think this only gets you, we just saw in back, it's going to only get you right around here. So I'm not even going to be able to hit all the heroes that I really want to. And there's a good tip, I heard it from Yeatle first, but I've also thought it myself, which is, if you're going to pop Rampage, your ending position, ideally, should be behind the enemy team, not in the enemy team. In being, like, surrounded by the enemy team. You want to end here on the backside. That way you have to force the whole team to decide, do they look forwards or backwards to deal with you or deal with your team. If you end in the middle, they can all turn and kill you super, super quickly, and it's hard for you to track what's going on. So try not to end in the middle of the team whenever possible. That is the second reason why this is a bad call. Number 3 is there is an Ana staring at you right now. So when she hears ding ding, she just pops sleep. And it's an easy sleep. Like, if she was on the side, this would be a really hard sleep to time it. But if she's staring right at you, she just puts you to bed right now. Like, oh, you're coming in? That's a straight line? I'm just going to pop sleep. Bam, stopped. Then you stop right here, she grenades you, and you die. Fight's lost. So that's 3 really good reasons why this is a super bad ultimate. The only thing I can think of that you think is a good part about this ultimate is that you think you can hit multiple heroes. But it doesn't matter if you're not going to end up killing them anyway. It gets more value than I expected, I'll tell you that. I don't know how the Genji even dies here. He has deflect. Literally, the Genji just dashes, or dash and deflect. If he just dashes away, he lives. Right? There's no reason for this Genji to die right now. But, whatever. People make mistakes. It's fine. So, you managed to somehow kill the Genji and demech the D.Va out of this. I don't think you deserved either one of them. Same thing for the D.Va. There's no reason for the D.Va to die here. Right? She eats this. Great. Instantly, fly up, fly to this corner, hold DM. Now what? Nothing. No reason this should work. No reason this should work. But, it does. I'm just telling you, this is a bad idea for the future. So, now you have no ammo. You're trying to melee the Moira, which by the way is definitely not going to work because the Moira heals for like 50 health a second while she's in Coalescence. So you just shoot her. Moira is nanoed, and she doesn't have Fade, but she's nanoed, so I don't want to kill her. I would pop Shout and just go over here and kill the Ana and the Torb. I would just pop Shout here. I don't really know why you're not popping Shout, and I definitely don't know why you're missing Axe. Like, let's think for a second. Oh, this is fair. Okay. No, this is totally reasonable. I understand what happened now. So you hit her with a knife, you pull her towards you, and Lucio booped her away. This is not 100% not your fault. I just didn't realize that's what happened. Okay, I think this is a totally reasonable accident. Oh, okay, yeah, you saw her get slammed into the room. You know that Moira's low, because you just saw her come out of Fade, and you saw that explosion right there to the left. So I would just immediately go to the left right now and go kill her. Like, even though I would expose myself, I would just run to the left and go kill her right now, because she has no Fade. Like, if the Moira has no Fade, she dies. So important. She has no Fade right now. Just walk up and kill her. 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 And now she has Fade, so now it's not going to work. Except she's going to let you kill her. Oh, nope. 2, 1. Yeah, she has Fade right now. She has Fade and she has a mega health pack down here, by the way. Like, there's no reason for this. It's not even like she didn't have enough reactions because she's leeching you as you come in. So she could just Fade right now and she'd be fine. For the record, occasionally there are debates about whether or not PC or console players are better. PC players are definitely better. And I'm not saying this to be elitist, I'm just saying the PC community is significantly more competitive. Because this kind of stuff would never happen at Gold 1 on PC. Like, this is like truly like a huge mistake by the Moira to not Fade out here and like just stay alive. Okay, I'm gonna skip through this relatively quickly because this review is getting crazy long. Oh yeah, this is just bad mechanics on your part. So I'm gonna rewind this. Okay, Torb pops Molten Core. You have Shout, you have Overhealth, and you have Shout, and you're gonna have that mini. So you're effectively gonna have something like 600 health fighting against the Torb, who has 250 health. Just as a note, 600 health versus 250 health. Plus you have axe swing, plus you have, you know, your shotgun, etc. That's a decent hit. Okay, good shot there. Good axe swing, right? That's not a great shotgun shot, but well, okay, fine. You missed the knife, that's unfortunate. You missed the shotgun, that's unfortunate, because you're jumping, which you shouldn't do. Jumping is bad. Alright, that's a decent shot, right? Then, complete whiff. You go for an axe swing, which you can hear. I can hear it. It's like obvious he's coming left and not right. You're going to miss that. Now you're over here. You whiff that shot too. You whiff that shot as well, and by the way, you're not throwing your knife. And now you get nervous, and you're like, oh shoot, I've missed too many shots, and you try to run away. Accept the duel, is what I will tell you. When you go and chase the Torb down here, win or lose, like this is the right, like you've made your bed, lie in it. I know it seems weird because you're like, oh, but like, why would I continue with something that's a mistake? The thing is, the decision's not a mistake. The decision to chase him here is correct. This Torb is overextended. It is 100% the right decision to chase down this Torb and kill him. So you made the right call here. You just can't pull it off because your mechanics aren't good enough. But like, it is what it is. Because at this point in time, like you see the panic. I can see the panic because you're starting to spam the jump button because you're like getting scared and you're snapping your controller all over the place and you just can't hold straight aim. Then you axe swing without having an actual target, even though you could even take a hit from him and then axe and still get it off and you'd be okay, right? More snappy shots, and then with 4 health, instead of trying to dodge even a little bit, which is still unlikely to work, you decide to just run in a straight line and let him kill you. And for the record, while it's extremely unlikely that he would miss you, you missed plenty of shots when he's just running around, and Torb is basically a cardboard box in terms of like hitbox. So like it does happen that people will whiff shots even when you have 4 health. They'll miss every pellet. It does happen. You had a better chance strafing or trying to continue like circling, ring around the Rosie, the pillar, than you did running away in a straight line and let him kill you like that. So that's what I mean. It's like accept the duel. Once you're over here, at this point in time, win or lose, I'm fighting this out. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, like, if I'm going to lose because of my aim, so be it. Because, like, this was the right call. I have to accept that and just believe in myself that I will win this duel. Because I'm so advantaged here. Like, so advantaged here. I guarantee you, if I am by no means all that good at tank, right? I am a low GM tank. I'm like a GM5 Junker Queen. If you took the #1 Torb in the world here and had me fight here, and I had what the advantages that you had, plus Mini, I'm winning that fight. 99% of the time I win that fight. I don't think there's like any way that Torb could possibly win that fight against me. So that's what I mean. It's like, look, you just need to accept. Like, you just got to take the fight. Like, if I whiff it, I whiff it. So be it. But it was the right call to take the fight. Alright, you're dead. Got to reset here. Because you're dead, the whole team has to reset. That's fine. So you're going to go right side, which is fine. I mean, this is it's definitely a faster route. There's like some complexity to playing Shambali that's like interesting, but you want to be poking here, right? Like, you're just not shooting. Just shoot. Like, you'll do like basically full 80 damage at this range. Junker Queen shotgun has a very low or far fall off damage. It's way better. It's the best shotgun gut in the game at distance damage. By far, not even close. Like, you should shoot, even at this range, you can do good damage. Like this Mora, you can do a full 80 damage to a shot per shot on her. You should be shooting, right? Just shoot. Yep, you force fade, good. Right, just keep shooting, just keep shooting. Just don't stop shooting, just keep shooting. All right, so beats popped. Your DPS popped ulti. By the way, your DPS are like carrying this game. Pop shout right now so that your whole team can get away safely. No reason not to pop shout. Right? Don't do it late, because if you do it late, somebody might not have time to get away. But pop shout, you let your team get away safely. Go up, yep, kill D.Va. Great. Honestly, I would just run the cart. I wouldn't even wait here, because your team's going to kill her. Just go to the cart. Alright. Cart's walking forwards. Applying some damage, it's fine. So what you want to do is you don't want to go out here. There's a wide peak we talked about in the previous video. Close peaks, right? Pow, 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 right? Maybe a knife stick. Pow, pow. That's what you want to do. Don't do the wide peaks. All right, you capped it. Great. Another good example of why you shouldn't use axe. So, Genji has deflect. I know this because I haven't seen him use deflect. So he can deflect the axe. So you wait super long and then you go for the axe, right? And now he deflects it. I think you happened to hit the mortar, but that was blind luck. There's no way you knew that was going to happen. This is all, like, basically fine. I play a little closer to the corner, but, like, yeah, just keep shooting. You don't need to do anything right now. You don't need to commit. I do not pop shout here, because the card's still really far away. I don't want to use Shout. Shout is a very long cooldown. So I just want to chill. No. Okay. We are going to watch basically this whole game. Maybe we'll just stop here. Or maybe we'll go to like the last fight. Why is this a bad Rampage? Well, let's go through what we learned from the last call about Rampage. So, Moira pop fade. In that sense, that was good. If you're trying to do it off the fade and trying to catch her in it, that would have been good. But the problem is you didn't actually catch her with it. Number one, you're flying straight at the Ana, which is not a good thing. Number two, your team is too far away to be able to follow up. Number three is you're going to end in the team, not behind the team. So the Ashe is going to be able to shoot you the whole time for free. That's good aim there, right? Good kill. Good kill, the Ana. Follow this up. Etc., etc. Right? You have to retreat here, which is unfortunate. The thing is, I don't think you need to do this. I think you would have moved the card for free anyway. I think you should just save Rampage. Right? You like won the team fight, but I think you would have gotten the same value by simply just standing behind the card. Which goes back to something you guys said, which is on the final point of Shambali, how do I play this Shambali as a tank? As Junker Queen, I would just sit behind the card. Like, you go here, maybe you can flank around and try to control this side, but honestly, it breaks LOS your support, so often it doesn't work. Usually, you need to push the cart to somewhere around here, then you hop up and you take left side. You take left side, you take all the way over here, you take up here, fights one. So your goal is get the cart from here to this final corner, mostly by using the cart as cover / the wall. Once you're here, you get up on top, and then you take all this space away from them, and then you can take this high ground away from them, and then the fight's over. At that point, there's like really nothing left that you can do. That's how I think of doing Shambali. I don't know that Shambali is a solved map yet. Some maps are solved. All the old maps in Overwatch from Overwatch 1 are solved in sense that people know perfectly how to play them at higher ranks. Like, there's almost no variation as to how to play them at high-level ranked gameplay. Shambali is a relatively new map. It got added in, Season 2? Season 3? Something like that. It got added with Ramattra, right? So I'd say Season 2. So I think that there's a pretty good idea of how to play it, but I don't think that it is solved yet, which is why I'm not giving you, full confidence. That's one of the reasons why I also don't make a map guide for it, because I'm not 100% sure my advice is right, versus most of the old maps, I'm 100% sure my advice is correct. So in this scenario, right, again, push the card up to this point, and then only when the Orisa's heavy contesting, then I use Rampage win the fight, and then the cart walks forward and we win. Especially here, I don't even need to take it all the way here, because you only have to take it to this point. So I just want to wait until they actually commit to contesting it, and then I pop Rampage. Because any fight win here is a guaranteed win. It's fine. There's not much you can do here. You're going to lose Lucio. When I lose Lucio, I back up. It's extremely unlikely we're going to win because we're down a player. I just pop shift, right? Shout. Everybody go back, right? Go back here. Poke, 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 poke. Farm multi. Just get out. I don't want to force this fight. I don't want to do anything here that's going to imply that my team is going to commit to try to win this fight. Your Mercy reses the Lucio. Right? Coalescence pop. Nanos pop. I get out. I just get out. There's nothing. They're not going to win this fight. Not going to win the fight. I just want to leave. And your Lucius is going to pop beat. Okay, now that you pop beat, we're all going to, we should now recontest this, because now we've wasted our ultimate. So, he used beat. Okay, fine. We're going to do it. Now I go back in. Now I should not be retreating. Even with, not full health, but I have the extra over health. Aggress. I don't want to kill the Moira, because the Moira's going to have a lot of healing. I want to kill the Orisa here, who's super low, or kill the Ana, or kill the Soldier. Anybody else who's killable. Don't walk backwards, go forwards. I know you could Javelin, but you got to go forwards. You should never be able to be Javelin like that, because beat goes off right now, I go back in. Either right side, left side, whatever it is, I go back in right now. Not backwards, forwards. And now your beat's lost. Because now the beat's can expire, because it drops 250 health a second or something crazy. Now you've lost the advantage of beat. But your team gets a kill. Okay, 5 and 5 and 4. Nope, lost fair. 4 and 4. Still winnable. Still winnable. Doable. I don't pop Axe here, because I know she has spin. And I think she might have Javelin as well. She does have Javelin. I don't want to use those abilities because my abilities are valuable. I don't want to waste them just to force out spin. I want to save Axe for something else. Now I've lost another one, so now we're down one. But the problem is we pop copy. This is the issue with teams just constantly trickling in the ultimates one by one as they get them, because they're trying to force the win right now. But if you just let the enemy pop ultis, all die or get out, and you come back in and everybody pops ultimates, then you win. So, what do you do about this? I mean, it's kind of tricky, but like, you don't be part of the problem because you're trickling your own ultimate in, right? You were the one who first popped Rampage. If you just held Rampage this whole time, then you all could have popped Rampage right now. Like, if you Rampage right now, that's an instant win. You just go here, pop Rampage, bam, 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 right? Kill the Ana, great. Fight's over. But you used your Rampage first when you didn't need to. So you're just as much part of the problem. Soldier's low, great. Right, I'm looking for potentially sleep here. She hits it, so be it. We're gonna come back. Is it winnable? Nope. 3, 4, 1. Okay, that's fine. 1 minute 14 seconds left. So this is 2 fight territory, maybe 1 fight territory. We're gonna have Valk. We're gonna have Barrage. They have no ultimates here except for Bob. So I'm saving Shout here for Bob. We lost one. Unfortunate. Mercy should hopefully res. Yeah, Mercy's gonna res here. So I'm thinking, where did the Pharah die? Oh, she's gonna die, like, not in a spot. I abort right now. The Pharah did not die in a resable spot. I abort. I go back right now and we wait. Because you're in 2 fight territory. If I force the fight right now, chance of me winning, 25%. I wait for the Pharah to come back, chance of us winning the fight, 50%. Do I want to gamble it all on a 25% fight or a 50% fight? I want to gamble it on a 50% fight at this point in time. So I do not want to do anything here that's gonna force us into a fight when we're down a player. Like, imagine playing a 5-on-5 basketball game, but one of your players is like, 1 second, I need to go to the bathroom. And the ref lets you take like a 60-second break for them. Do you try to play 4 and 5, or do you just wait for the player to come back from the bathroom? Obviously, it's like not a realistic scenario, but like, that's what I'm trying to indicate. It's like, when I see people trying to force fights when they're down a player, I'm like, why do this? Like, it just makes your life so much harder. The odds of you winning are so low. So just wait here. You have the time. Like, you had the advantage here. So, like, you're in a good position. You have plenty of time. Just chill. You have so much time here. So much time. You could literally bleed 30, 40 seconds off the clock here. You're good because you're on the card already. So you don't need any of this time. But if you die right now without the Pharah, it's disastrous. Soldier's here. I come back, I pop Shout, right? And I shoot, see like what the deal is. Maybe I axe him or whatever. Regardless, this is tough because I'm down a player. But you do not do that. So you don't react to Visor at all. So again, pop Shout, run over here, get in his face and start shooting and applying damage to him to try to force him to back off. But your Shout is also late. Right? You could have shouted right away. That would have given your Mercy the extra health and the extra speed, and she would have gotten to you in time. Because she barely dies here. But now, you're down Mercy, so you're down 2, so the odds of you winning this fight is like 5%. Now it's over. Oh, you're going to get one more contest? You're going to get one more sort of contest. 7 seconds. But like, you see how everyone needs to use movement abilities just to touch the cart? This is not a real fight. Because you see your Moira's like had to fade up. Like, she didn't actually have to, but she did. And because like everyone used movement abilities, there's no way for you to actually have a real fight. So that last fight was your only real fight that you got, and you totally whiffed it. Regarding strategy for playing the final point, I think I already talked through the general idea of how to take it, but none of this looks to me like you had a problem taking final point. Like, this looks to me like the same core problems you have the whole time. Like, you're missing attacks, you're missing abilities, you're not doing a good enough job like taking space away from the enemy, you're not reacting to enemy ultimates, right? You're not saving teammates. Like, the same core issues are what cause you to lose on final point. It's something specific to the final point that causes your problems. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop there. My voice is dying. I think I gave you plenty of stuff to think about though, so hopefully this is helpful.